We hope you also tune in to supertalktv.com today. You'll see I'm not alone in the studio. I've made some new friends. Joining me is Mr. Ben Land, and he is writing his own success story to become a well-known sports writer, along with his mom, Kathy. So welcome.
Thank you so much.
All right, Kathy, I'm going to start with you and tell us a little bit of background about Ben, because the fact that he is chasing his dreams and writing for the Neshoba Democrat and excelling as a writer really is an inspirational story.
Well, we thank you so much, first of all, for the opportunity to come. Ben's father and I adopted Ben when he was 15 months old, and so we didn't know anything about Ben having cerebral palsy, but we were aware that he had autism, but we didn't really know what that meant. And so we adopted Ben and brought him home, and then some years later found out that he had cerebral palsy because he was having difficulty moving and so forth. And then from that, we just kept working with him. And his dad was a football coach and a basketball coach in Union, Mississippi. Go Yellow Jackets. And so from that, Ben was exposed to the sports. And I enjoy sports as well. And so it's just evolved from there.
Okay, Ben, I hear you have a passion for writing. So when did you start putting your thoughts on paper?
Well, I really enjoy watching any kind of sport. I especially like knowing the stats of different sports and different players in those sports. Recalling from what I see or hear about sports comes very easy for me. I never really thought about writing down my love for sports until our family met Miss Regina Bowes, a teacher at Philadelphia High School.
And how did she inspire you to write about sports?
Well, it was back in 2019. It was the first year that I got into the writing thing, and then I met her. And
so what's your favorite sport?
My favorite sport is football.
Yeah. You like football, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
You like seeing the Yellow Jackets win, too, I bet.
Oh, yes, ma'am, no doubt. Go Jackets.
All right, it's one thing to like sports. I think there's a lot of us listening to Good Things who like it. It's another thing, though, to write about it. That's a whole nother kind of talent or process. So when did you start writing about sports?
I began writing for the Neshoba Democrat in 2019.
Do you write about every game?
Well, depending on how much homework I got.
That's a good answer, Mom. He's finding that balance.
That's right.
Okay, Mom. I mean, those that are listening, if they have any idea about cerebral palsy or even autism, they're already astounded the fact that he's able to have a column in the Neshoba Democrat, or even write, because sometimes with the muscular, difficulties, it can be hard to get those thoughts down. So this is where Mississippi Department of Rehabilitation kind of comes in. How did you guys get connected with them and their services?
It also goes back to Miss Bowes at Philadelphia High School. She had some connections as far as some experience of working with vocational rehab, and so she told them about Ben, and they got in touch with us, and then they met Ben, and they looked at what his deficits were, and they gave us some ideas of different types of equipment that might be helpful to him. And some of those technologies we're still learning how to use, because trying to carry a full load in high school and trying to write, most of this work that they do with Ben has to be on the weekends, and so that's just been real difficult. But there's one piece of technology that's been great. They helped Ben get his driver's license. And so they sent us to the T.K. Martin Center at Mississippi State, and a gentleman there named Mr. Knox, he helped Ben. He evaluated him as to how well he thought Ben would be able to do driving, because at home he had driven just like a multi-vehicle golf cart looking type thing. And so Mr. Knox evaluated him, and he said, I think he can do it. And so he had me to bring Ben to Starkville several Saturdays, and then they would drive. And then he said, I think Ben's ready. And so then Mr. Knox came to Union to drive with Ben, so it would be in familiar surroundings. And then the first time he went to get his license, he passed.
And then Mama's heart just went, doo-doo.
And I went, oh no, another insurance payment.
Spoken like a true mama, for sure. Okay, Ben, Mississippi Department of Rehab has connected you with all of these different technologies. What kind of technology or equipment has helped you the most with your writing?
Well, vocational rehab helped me to get extra training so I could get my driver's license. They sent me to work with Mr. Eric at the TK Martin Center. And as Mama said, we would drive around Starkville for several days and drive around the campus of Mississippi State. And then he came to Union Road with me for a few days.
And to kind of interject into that with the writing, there are two different pieces of technology. One is voice activated, where Ben can speak, and then there's a notebook that looks almost like Braille, and you take this pen and he can mark symbols on that paper, and then it will translate into his writing, or he can have it almost like a recorder and play it back. We have not mastered that yet, just because we haven't had enough time to work with it. So until that technology is mastered, I'm the writer, but he tells me what he wants me to write when we go to the ball games.
So you're writing it. We're helping him in terms of in person, just like a real reporter would see it, being on the sidelines, taking your notes, taking the whole game, all of the major plays and everything in. Are you shouting at your mama, Ben?
Sometimes, and sometimes I
just let me figure it out.
Just let me figure it out.
So, Ben, it takes courage as well as a lot of confidence for any writer to put their work out there. So how did you get connected with Neshoba Democrat?
Well, this is another one of those things that Miss Bowes got me in touch with right there. She talked to Mr. Jim Prince, who is the owner of the Neshoba Democrat and other papers around the state. He met with my mama, Granna, and me. At the conclusion of our meeting, he asked me if I'd like to be the sports reporter for the paper at our local high school at Union. I was very excited and grateful to Mr. Prince and Miss Bowes for their help and their belief in my abilities. And I have been reporting on football for the paper the last 3 years. I also do a weekly podcast for Union High School. I do that on the weekends. I sit at the kitchen table and I talk all things Union sports. We cover softball, baseball, football, tennis, archery, and basketball and bowling. And my podcast is called the Yellow Jacket Buzz.
Well, that is a really creative name. Mom, what does it feel like? I mean, any mom is going to have just swelling with pride when they watch their kids sort of find something they enjoy and then, go after it with everything they have. I think that's all we want out of our kids, whether it's sports or writing or art, just to find something and be focused on it. But for Ben, it is a little more special. So what's it like to see him be able to thrive?
Well, it's so exciting. Like you say, any parent would feel that same pride or hopefulness for what his future would look like. But knowing where Ben has come from, and also it's especially exciting to me because it's sports, because his dad was a coach and his dad passed away when Ben was 5. And so to see the way he loves sports, it feels like his dad's participating in it in a way, and it helps Ben with the social skills, loving sports and being able to talk to the kids at school about the ball games and interact with them. It's helped a lot for his social development, and I'm excited and hopeful for him. And I know that you want him to be as independent as he can be. And so it's just like any other mother, to be happy and find something you have passion for and then just enjoy it.
So, Ben, what's next for you?
Well, once I graduate high school, I plan to attend East Central Community College, look toward a degree in sports broadcasting and journalism. And good Lord willing, after graduating there, I plan to attend Mississippi State. Go Dogs.
Yellow Jackets
and
to the Bulldogs.
Yeah, there you go.
What sport at Mississippi State would you like to cover?
Football and baseball would probably be my two things right there. But especially baseball, since we just won national championship last year.
How are they doing this year, Ben?
Not too good.
You know what? Spoken like a true reporter. Where you guys stick with us, we're going to get to know Ben and his mom, Kathy, a little bit more coming up next here on Good Things. You can watch SuperTalk Mississippi on your computer, your mobile device. You can watch it on Roku, Amazon Fire TV devices, even YouTube. You can now watch SuperTalk TV live on C Spire TV. We are channel 70 right next to the Weather Channel. We hope you've taken your dial over to supertalktv.com so you can meet my friends who are in the studio today. I have with me Mr. Ben Land. He is a 19-year-old Union High School student. He does have autism spectrum disorder and cerebral palsy, but that's not stopping him to reaching his dreams and writing his own success story. He hosts the Yellow Jacket Buzz, which is a podcast there for Union High's sports, as well as writes in the Neshoba Democrat as a sports reporter, and his mother, Kathy, joins us too. I want to get back, Ben, your MSU connection. Miss Kathy, you said your husband went to MSU, correct?
He did. He graduated there, and so that's part of Ben's interest in it, and it's a good connection.
And Ben, you know our Brian Haydad from Sports Talk Mississippi.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have to get you connected with him. He's our MSU reporter. Just radio podcasting sounds right up your alley. Let's talk about your podcast, though. Yellow Jacket Buzz. What's the last episode you guys aired?
All right. Well, it was a couple of weeks ago after we finished the state basketball tournament. Union lost a heartbreaker in Knoxville County, so we had talked about that. They were playing at the big house again. And we also talked a little bit about the baseball, softball, and tennis that's going on right now.
Where are we in spring sports? Baseball, softball, and tennis. What's your favorite?
Baseball. Oh, yeah.
How's the Union Yellow Jacket baseball doing?
So far, they've been up and down so far. They're a young ball club this year. They won district title last year, but they moved to a different class this year. So,
how's the softball?
Softball is very young as well. Yeah.
You are spoken like a professional reporter, not handling the questions super well. Okay, dream job. You said reporting maybe or going to MSU would be where you would want to get your broadcasting degree for sports. So what's the dream job, though, Ben? When Ben Land thinks about writing sports, where do you see yourself in 10, 15 years?
Well, either ESPN or the SEC network is where I see myself at right there. But if it doesn't work out, I could always be a free chiropractor for old mama over here.
We just took a hard left turn in career options there. Kathy, it seems though he has such a positive attitude. I mean, it's always good to reach big in your dreams, but then also, has he always been lighthearted and spirited like that?
Well, you know, I'm pretty tightly wound, and he's real easy and laid back. And one day we were talking, and I said something about this has been a really bad day, and Ben looked at me and he said, "Mama, a bad day? What is that? I've never had one of those."
Wow.
And so, you know, it makes you rethink what you consider as bad or difficult, because I see the struggles he's had. And yet, he's never had a bad day.
Which I think is something we can all learn from Ben. Now, in sports, teams do have bad days, Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Or I was going to say, how do you handle a loss for your team?
Well, I just call it how I see it. I've seen plenty of that from Mississippi State.
Yes, you know, but all the losses can ultimately be more wins, right?
Exactly.
So what's it like for you, Ben, when you're sitting on the sidelines and the Yellow Jackets win a ball game?
Oh, it's electric. I mean, we have a great fan base back home, a great student section. They will travel anywhere to go. Doesn't matter if it's home or away, Jacket Nation's gonna show up.
Jacket Nation's going to show up for sure. And they're showing up for you, too, whether it's on the C Spire text line, asking where can they connect with the Yellow Jacket Buzz. So, Miss Kathy, if someone wants to listen to Ben's podcast, do you know where they can get it?
Sure. They go to unionyellowjackets.org. And then when they get there, that's the web page, and it'll say athletics. And when they click on athletics, they'll scroll, and all of Ben's podcasts are listed there by title.
And we also say, tell Ben that Starkville High School's team is also the Yellow Jackets. So when you come to be a student at Mississippi State, you can take your Yellow Jacket. You can multiply your Yellow Jacket love, because I won't say you'll take it. You'll just multiply it.
Exactly.
And you'll have another Yellow Jacket home there in Starkville. You are very positive, Ben. What is your message to others about people who may be differently abled or not be able to do things in the same way?
We believe in our family that the Lord gives exactly what you need so that you can serve Him. My brain is wired differently, but I want the same things that most others want in their lives. I want to be happy, I want to be loved, and I want my life to make a difference for the Lord. Everyone matters, and everyone can contribute in some way.
Well, that is a beautiful message. Again, all these life lessons by Ben Land today on good things. I hope you know that it's a listener who actually reached out to me, Ben, to say that I needed to get to know you, that you would be a good friend of the show. So I love that when people see what what others are doing in their communities, making a difference, and connects us to hear on good things. But Mom, I just still go back to, you having the opportunity, or Ben's story having the opportunity to inspire other families who may get similar diagnosis along the spectrum of either autism or maybe with cerebral palsy at birth or later on. I mean, that's a tough blow to some at first, but man, look at Ben, right?
Right. And the fact that, his father and I were much older parents, and we could not have children of our own. And so the Lord made a way. And we didn't know what autism was, so we really didn't know what the task would be. But it's like any parent, you do all that you can do, the best that you can do. And he is such a blessing.
And you get the help that you can, that's at your fingertips, which resources there at Mississippi Department of Rehabilitation. Ben, I don't know if you know Miss Jan Schaefer. She's our friend here on Good Things. She's connected with the department. I had to call her and tell her that you were coming in the studio. She raved about you, so you're a legend there as well, even if you don't know Miss Jan. But we're all the times reminding people, don't forget about the resources and get families connected. So what would you say about families connecting with Mississippi Department of Rehab if it's the right fit?
If it's the right fit, they have been fantastic for us, because I didn't know where to go and I didn't know what was available. And I realize we keep giving Ms. Bose some free press here.
That's okay.
But she put us in connection with vocational rehab, and everything that we have asked them for, they have just willingly done. And when we've had to say, well, we can't work on this project right now, could you help us later? Well, sure, you call, and when Ben's ready, we'll do it. And so they've just been fantastic, and they're certainly a part of Ben's story.
Which I think is still being written for sure. But I know that your grades mean a lot to you, Ben. What's that GPA?
3.5 at the moment right now.
That's
good, Lord willing, I could survive this last 9 weeks.
Okay, favorite subject?
I would say math, probably.
Yeah, math. Usually, Ben, math and writing don't go together.
That is true.
That's okay, though. That doesn't mean that you can't excel at all of them. It's usually two different personalities.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just like to say that I'm a retired history teacher, so I thought he would pick history.
That too.
See? You like all the learning, don't you, there?
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, but I gotta say, though, yeah, she does not like math at all.
Ben, most parents don't like math.
Exactly.
I have a fourth grader, and I will stand firm in I don't like math.
Moms United.
Moms United. But you still have to, muster up the courage to make it through those last 9 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
When's graduation, Ben?
Well, I got one more year left, so it'll be next year, good Lord willing, as well.
And then maybe off to
East Central.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
then you'll go on to hopefully Mississippi State, where I know that you will reach all of your dreams. Okay, if Mississippi State's number 1, who's number 2 on your list for schools?
I would,
Southern Miss.
I knew you were going to say
That's great.
Oh, man.
It's kind of like a yellow jacket, just bigger. It's an eagle.
Isn't it? Yeah, black and gold colors. There you go.
See, you wouldn't even have to change. Wouldn't even have to change. All right, last question. When does your column come out in the Neshoba Democrat?
It comes out usually every Wednesday. That is when we do one.
All righty. Is that the Rhino? What we listening to?
That's the Stamford Band playing Roundabout.
Roundabout. Yeah. All righty. Well, Ben, you are welcome back to Good Things at any time, my friend. We're going to keep up with your story. So thank you for your time.
No problem.
All righty. You guys.
Hail Stain, go Jackets.
There you go. Hey, Southern Miss.
And Southern Miss to the top.
Thank you. Stick with us. More coming up next.